is winding down here at Ed Smith Stadium. Less than 2 weeks before the regular season starts. For the Orioles, the final decisions. Who stays? Who goes? Another great season in the forecast? The Orioles hope so. They take on the Blue Jays live from sunny Sarasota, starting right now. It's the Orioles on Masson, and we welcome you to Sarasota as another full house expected today. As for the 5th time this spring, the Blue Jays and the Orioles will go at it. So far, the Jays have won 3 out of the 4 that have been played. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. Welcome. Great to have you with us here again today as the Orioles do have final decisions to make. No recent roster moves, really. Not on the day off. Not today. But Showalter wants to keep these players vying for positions, and there are lots of them doing that with some big decisions to be made. The Orioles' offense last year, obviously, a big part of the Orioles winning. They led the league in home runs. They were 6th in runs scored, 3rd in OPS. This spring, while you're careful with spring numbers, here are some of the bats that have done a great job for the Orioles. The Orioles are being led by some people who've got a chance to make the ball club, like Paredes. Where is he going to play? If he hits like that, Buck Showalter said, I'll find a place. Steve Pearce, you know he's going to be on the team. Great numbers. Chris Davis coming back. Big part of the comeback so far has been the fact he's got the home runs and the RBIs. Daniel Alvarez will not be on the ball club, but making an impact. Jim Palmer, you look at spring for guys who have an opportunity to maybe show up later.
Yeah, I think Paredes, obviously, he's worked on his defense. The Orioles saw that he could hit Pearce, 21 home runs. About, 2 months ago last year when Chris Davis had the oblique about 50 miles from here, Steve Pearce showed the Orioles he could play first base with the best of them. Had won a career year, so can he do it again? 5 home runs, and as you mentioned, wind does blow out, not blowing out today. I think of all those guys there, you look at Chris Davis. Obviously, he protects everybody in the lineup if he can stay healthy, and he can get back to where he was with somewhere around 53 home runs, leading the league in RBIs.
And he bunted for a base hit in Bradenton yesterday against the Pirates. All right, when we come back, he probably won't be bunting today, but Davis is going to be in the lineup. It's the Jays and the O's. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Sarasota. There's so much to see and do on the beaches and islands of Sarasota on Florida's Gulf Coast. Go beyond the stadium to Siesta Beach, named winner of the 2015 TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice Awards for beaches. Plan now at visitsarasota.org. Here in Sarasota and in other ballparks in this spring training, Steve Pearce is hammering the baseball. He is coming off a breakout season last year. And right now, at least his spring training numbers say it may be who he really is. And boy, do the Orioles hope that is true. Hitting .382, 5 home runs. He's tied for the lead in spring training home runs in the American League. 9 RBIs, 7 runs scored, a great OPS. And Steve Pearce is hitting the ball hard. Amazingly, he's making contact in virtually every at-bat. No walks, 1 strikeout so far in the spring. Keep his name in mind. He could be a difference player for the Orioles this year. And Steve will be in the starting lineup for the Orioles, so we'll have a chance to take a look at him as he moves around defensively. Another big crowd coming in. It's about 84 degrees here in Sarasota today. Here's the starting lineup for the Jays. You see at the top, Travis putting up some very big numbers. Tolleson, Pilar back. Pilar's been on the out of action for a while. He makes a return. Danny Valencia is bidding for a job, having a real good spring. Visaedo, Smoke, Gandal, Toll, and Goins last year for Pilar. He's got more power than that.
And take a look at our scouting report on Wei and Chen on track. Well, spring training is going very well. Most of the starters getting about a week off to kind of get ready for the end of spring training. Last year, a 16-game winner. He led the Orioles in victories, the most since Jeff Ballard all the way back in 1989. And then less is more. You talk to Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, Dom Sheedy, the assistant pitching coach, out in the bullpen. Scotty McGregor, 20-game winner, who's down in the Oriole minor league. It's about the changeup. And for him, he's much more comfortable as you look at the numbers here in spring. Not a lot of innings. A lot of the times you will play in those B games or the games on the minor league fields here. But again, watched him throw yesterday, threw for about 5 minutes to get ready for today's, and he looked like everything was all go. But again, the changeup would give him something because he has a good fastball to slow the bats down.
And for Wei and Chen, he has worked against Tampa Bay, the Yankees, Pittsburgh, and Boston so far this season. Saw the numbers with just the 1 run, a couple of hits, and has given up only the 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. So he's exactly where the Orioles want him to be. In spring training, sometimes you end up with players like Chen, like Pearce offensively. You say, geez, I wish the season would end right now, spring training-wise, and let's start the regular season while these guys are hot. But not the case, so you still got to walk that fine line and get yourself ready for opening day.
Yeah, most of the hitters, I think, Gary, are ready to. They wish that they were in Tampa a couple of weeks from now where the Orioles will start the season.
And the first pitch will be taken for a strike. Devon Travis is having just a magnificent spring for Toronto, looking for a spot, hitting .400. He's had 6 RBIs and 6 doubles on the year. Talking with John Givens before the game today, they really like the way this young man's playing. That .400 batting average is 4th best in the American League so far this spring. And he's got a shot to make this ball club and play some games. 2-strike delivery to him. Chen will just miss inside with a 1-2.
Yeah, that's a good pitcher's pitch. And what John Gibbons also said, that, again, the book on Devon Travis was that he was not a good defender. That has not been the case here in spring training.
Great pitch right there. He missed it. Play's got to be made at first. And it will be. And 1 away here. Ball game underway.
Now take a look at the Orioles defense here at Ed Smith Stadium. Reimold, Jones, and Young. Machado 2 years ago, the Platinum Gold Glove winner. J.J. Hardy's won 3 consecutive Gold Gloves. Cabrera, Everth Cabrera comes over from San Diego. And then Steve Pearce, as we mentioned, Caleb Joseph, who did most of the catching last year for the Orioles.
Ball down the line at third by Steve Tolleson. He'll make the big turn and head to second base. No, stop, now goes. And the throw off the mark. Tolleson held up about halfway between first and second base. As Reimold went over to get the baseball, he'll end up with a double.
Yeah, Tim Lieber, the first base coach, and I'm not sure, because normally if a ball gets by, now, of course, I think he has an idea to see. Tough play, the ball comes up anytime you have to backhand a ball. And, of course, Manny Machado, as good as anybody down there, can't get the glove in front of it. And then right here, the hesitation. And right here, you can see that. I mean, a little hesitation, throw offline, wouldn't have mattered anyway.
So Tolleson gets the double. And that will bring Pilar to the plate. We have the chance for an RBI here with one away. And he will take the pitch for a strike. He said Pilar's going to be one of the regulars in the lineup. Spring training numbers, good. 269, a home run, the 5 RBIs that he's put up so far this season. Getting back in the lineup after missing a few games here with Toronto. And that one fouled right back into the screen.
Well, there was his pitch, and we saw him last year. I mean, hit over 300, 323 with some power down at AAA Buffalo, their affiliate, and then came to the big leagues and didn't hit quite as well, 267. We saw him not only last year but the year before. He may be one of those guys that John Gibbons platoons. Michael Sonder with a knee injury. Pilar missed time because he hurt his ribcage sneezing.
Yep. He's been out since the 14th. And the pitch will be taken inside. Another oblique injury. 1 ball, 2 strike count, and 1 down. Pilar's got power. He's making the start here in this ball game in center field. Saunders is making a great comeback for Toronto with his injury. And maybe back a lot sooner than what they had anticipated originally. Off-speed delivery. He's going to miss down low. 83 miles an hour on that one on the stadium gun. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count from Wei Chen.
So we have a sneeze injury. Saunders hurt his, stepping on a sprinkler. They thought he may be out all the way to the second half of the year, but it was a meniscus tear.
Spring training is tough.
Yeah, well, it can be.
You can't sneeze. 2-2 delivery on the way and fouled off. Good pitch came right inside on him.
Yeah. No sneezing matter, no laughing matter. Not for some players that are trying to make the club.
You can get hurt laughing.
I'm telling you, I looked at Buck Showalter yesterday early in the morning and I said, I don't know, how do you do this? I mean, you just keep track of a normal team on the road. They stay back, they go, they come back. I said, I don't know how you do it. He said spring training is, and as you mentioned, a little bit too long, except for the pitchers. Yep. They probably need the innings. They ought to come down maybe just after New Year's, and then the rest of the team joins them the 3rd week of February and maybe actually early March. Hitters would love it.
I'm not sure, Jim, even they need it anymore. They have programs now on their own, right? Before they ever get to spring training, they're throwing a good deal. In fact, the Orioles cut back a number of pitchers and what they were doing in the offseason, trying to save the arms during the year. 2 ball, 2 strike count, runner out at second base, and 1 down, and that ball will be fouled the other way.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do on teams that go to the postseason. The Orioles, 2 out of the last 3 years, last year all the way where they got swept by Kansas City in the championship series. So they're anticipating, if things go well, that their pitchers will pitch into October. They'll maybe slow things down a little bit, make sure they're ready. And again, with the modern day bullpen and the evolution of pitching, if you can throw 90, 95, 100 pitches opening day as a starter, I think everybody would be very happy.
Very happy. 2 ball, 2 strike count still. Piling up the pitch count here in this at bat. He'll take it up high.
Yeah, there's that change up, Gary. And if the scouting report on Wei Chen, and it's kind of interesting he starts against Toronto because Buck Showalter, the Oriole manager, said this will probably be the last start against the Jays if he has his ways. They don't have them all here today, but they're loaded with right-handed bats. So that's why the changeup gives him that arm side.
3-2 delivery chopped. He got it. Got the runner hung up. Throw back. Second base. It'll be handled. The Orioles had a run down. There's one. And into right field. And we backed up. That's why you back up. Delmon Young right there to get it. Good play by Chen. And Tolleson broke off second base a little too soon and got caught in the rundown. Down to second base goes Pilar.
Yeah, you're already in scoring position, but there's the changeup. You could see Pilar way out on his front foot. I think Steve Tolleson got maybe fooled, but nice base running right here because he's able to get into scoring position. So, again, a good result. Nice, you field your position, something they work on every day. but the Jays still, with a couple of outs here in the first, have a runner in scoring position.
So 2 down. Chen helping his own cause with the defense. And here is Danny Valencia. We're talking about this former Oriole and the numbers he's putting up, having a really fine spring for this ball club, hitting .333, a homer, 4 RBIs. He's gone 9 for 27. And they like what they see. He's playing a good first base as well. Now, Smoke is their big stud guy they want in the lineup. He's DHing today, but Valencia's got a chance to see some time.
Well, Justin Smoke, ever since he went from the Rangers to the Mariners, a big long swing switch hitter, pretty good fielding first baseman. You like to think that he's going to make the club, but it's not a sure thing because
Chopper goes towards the hole, off the glove, rolls into the outfield. That'll score a run. Manny Machado with an opportunity on the side saddle, and he didn't get it. And the Jays will take a 1-0 lead. Valencia reaching on the error.
Well, there's not a lot of room for indecision at third. I mean, he does everything right except catch it. Now, obviously, if you go back and you don't have a chance to do this and you think about it, well, does Valencia run well? No. Could I have taken a step back? But you kind of have to defer to the guy that's about as good as anybody else. But, again, that's a play he usually makes. And you get the read right off the bat. Again, it's a hot corner. I mean, it's not like playing shortstop where you get to pick your hop.
Charged with his 4th error of the spring, Manny Machado, is Visaedo. Dan Visaedo making the start in left field. A run in, should have been the 3rd out. Off-speed delivery is going to miss up high by Chen. Visaedo, 241, no home runs, has picked up 1 RBI. He's had 29 at-bats and 7 for 29 with 4 doubles so far this spring. 1-0 by Chen, a comebacker. He snags it and will take the play over to first base. So a run will score on a hit and error, and 1 base runner left on. Orioles lineup coming up. Jays will pick up the unearned run in the first inning to take the 1-0 lead. Now the Orioles. And here's their lineup today. Machado, Pearce, and Jones, Young, Davis, and Hardy, Reimold, Joseph, and Cabrera. For Manny so far, spring training, 270 with a home run and 3 RBI.
Yeah, and that lineup gets to face for the 2nd time this spring Daniel Norris, bonus kid out of Johnson City, Tennessee. Couple of $1 million to sign, 2nd round. But leg up, Marcus Stroman, everybody thought he was going to be a star. He, in the fielding practices, tore his ACL, and then Free Spirit lives in it's a long story. 1978, Westphalia VW van. But again, very talented left-hander. We saw that when he pitched in our first game. 92 to 95, curveball changeup. And last year, A-ball, AA, AAA, 12-2 for the Jays.
And facing Manny Machado, moved to the leadoff spot today. Tail-away pitch. That's the one they're working on right there. If he can control that pitch, says his manager, he will have it all. Because he's got a great ball down and into right-handers. Last year struggled a bit with the pitch, breaking down and away. Comes back in. It'll be fouled off. Norris against the Orioles. He worked an inning and 2/3 this spring. In the first outing he had, he gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, couple of strikeouts. He's worked against the Tigers, Yankees, and Tampa Bay, and has pitched very well. I mean, they're excited about him, especially since he's 21 years old. And that pitch just misses inside to Manny Machado.
Yeah, that's one of those purpose pitches at 96, up and in. Opens up the outside corner, changes your perspective if you're hitting.
That one's going to be a little bit down. Watching games here this spring, the umpires have never said anything, nor has the league, about umpires being talked to about the strike zone. I really think they have, though. The zone in many games this spring seems to be a little bit bigger, a little wider, and a little higher. 2-2 pitch, but not today. I mean, those pitches have been strikes a lot this spring. Tony Basner, the home plate umpire, not seeing it that way, and the count goes 3-2. Left-hander's delivery. Machado goes after it and pops it up third base. Tolleson is there, and he's got it.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Blue Jays here in Sarasota. Viciedo, Pilar, Gindel over in right field, who's been around, but comes out of the Milwaukee organization. Tolleson, Goins playing shortstop today. Reyes with a day off. Again, Devon Travis, Danny Valencia, who can play all over the infield, and Tolley, who will do most of his catching with the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey.
And here's Steve Pearce writing a great follow-up this spring to his tremendous season last year. He pops that one up right in front of the plate. Tolley going out gets called off, as he should be, by Tolleson, who's got the better angle, and a couple of pop-ups two away.
Yeah, you can always kind of tell when you get a young pitcher. Now, it's early on. You know, everybody knows he's got a good arm. As you mentioned, Steve Pearce, red hot, home runs in 5 of his last 6 games. He thinks he gets a fastball to hit at 94, and instead of centering it, pops it up. This kid got a good arm.
A lot of people around covering Norris here for this ball game. There were photographers down on the field, more than you would normally see in a spring training game. Adam Jones will stand in against him. It's all about that living in a Volkswagen camper and the surfer life that he leads. And as a result, with stories needed in spring training, because it lasts so long, anything the press can grab onto that looks a little different and is a good story gets grabbed onto. And Norris is the good story. He's made it on network television. He's made it in national magazines. New York Times ran a pretty good article on him. ESPN, the magazine, and online has had 3 or 4 stories on him. A surfer out of Johnson City, Tennessee. Right away you're going,
Yeah. But like he said, and it's really reality check, is, hey, it has nothing to do with my job as a pitcher. And he said, I've been passionate about baseball my whole life. They gave me a lot of money, and he raced, as we mentioned, through the minor leagues. I mean, a couple of years ago, before last year, when he started out in A, 3-1, Double A, 3-1, and then 6-1 at Triple A, he was 1-7. So it's not like he just, kind of came in on a white horse and figured it out right away.
Jones gets jammed. I do mean jammed.
But I mean,
hit it off his leg.
Well, Gary, that's what happens if you're young and you have good stuff and you got a lot of life on your pitches. I mean, he's already shown him the changeup, the cutter, and the fastball. I mentioned back on the 5th of March, he reminded me of Danny Duffy. He's got one of those kind of arms, maybe C.J. Wilson of the Angels, but it looks like his stuff is a lot better than C.J., who came up as pretty much a starter, but then ended up in the bullpen and is now a starter with the Angels.
Well, the Orioles certainly going to get a chance to see him, Norris, if he stays healthy. Jones takes one in the dirt. Tag not put on. Play will be made. Tolley with a good scoop behind the plate. Norris retires the side in order. 1-0 after 1. Jays on top. Your season is just 2 weeks away, and the best way to secure your spot for all the action of the Orioles' full of partial season plans. Season plan members enjoy exclusive ticket savings, Major League Baseball's most flexible exchange policy, access to postseason tickets, and many other orange carpet benefits. So don't miss out. Great season coming up. Go to Orioles.com/tickets, or you can call 888-848-BIRD. Mid-30s in Baltimore, mid-80s. Here in Sarasota, it's been an unusually warm spring training time. Beautiful for baseball all over the state of Florida. Wei-Yin Chen will go back to work. And Justin Smoke, whom we were talking about, stands in. Smoke's the DH in the ball game today. Edwin Encarnacion, of course, will do most of the DHing for this ball club. He is out, is expected back maybe Thursday or Friday. Back problems have kept him out of the lineup, but he's working out with the ball club even though he's not playing in games.
Yeah, 6 at-bats all spring.
Part of what's going to be a real thumping lineup for John Gibbons and Toronto. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that one off the end of the bat to right field. Read by Young. Smoke retired.
Yeah, just a good enough pitch in a hitter's count that Smoke had to reach for it. Pretty tentative swing, 2-0, but you got to make your pitches, stay out of the middle of the plate. Wei-Yin Chen was able to do it when you get behind hitters.
Caleb Gindel coming to the plate. He is a 26-year-old coming over from the Milwaukee Brewers, where he played in only 8 games last year, played AAA Nashville most of the season, not expected to make this ball club. He's played only 65 major league games with a .232 average. Chen's delivery to him, the off-speed breaking ball, tough to lay off, but he did, and it missed. 1 ball, 1 strike count from Wei-Yin Chen, slated right now, although no official announcement has been made, to be number 2 in the rotation. So the Orioles, who will open up on the road, just a bit up the road, in fact an hour away, against the Tampa Bay Rays. And it sure looks like Tillman will be the starter for the Orioles.
Yeah, they haven't announced it. Matt Wieters to Buck Showalter's right, far left. There's a hanging breaking ball that Gindel tries to jump on.
Wieters out, of course, and there's really not a lot of talk about when he's going to get back. He's not doing anything as far as hitting or throwing is concerned, which is a bit strange since he did all that DH work before he caught 1 game and the elbow flared up on him, and now he can't even, they don't want to take the chance.
Yeah, I think, DHing. Yeah, you know, I was talking to Richie Bancels, the Oriole head trainer, and he said, you know, probably a real positive, I guess, projection of, March 17th. You know, pitchers take longer than catchers or even outfielders, but just think of all the throwing a catcher does in their release and the off-balance throws. So maybe the 9 months was a little bit of a stretch, but he felt good, and I think they want everything to quiet down, and then they'll resume what they were doing.
Not expected to be available on opening day and expected to be on the DL. Ball put up in the air, shallow center. Jones started back. Hardy going out. Jones coming, reaching, and he's got it. Adam Jones.
Well, you go in the Oriole locker room here. They have all the Gold Glovers on the wall. Hardy's got 3. And this guy right here, you can see he put a couple of steps back, and then he's got 4. Again, one of those rare days, maybe the wind will come up, but one of those rare days where the wind is not, at least at the moment, blowing out here.
Pretty quiet day. I think it's easy for an outfielder just to say, I better get back to the wall and then start ready to jump. Here is Tolle doing the catching, Josh Tolle. He will take the pitch for a strike. 2 down, nobody on here in the 2nd inning. Tolle with some very fine numbers, that .286 average so far this spring. Orioles, of course, will be coming home to open up against this Toronto Blue Jay team on the 10th of April. They'll have a 3-game set, 10, 11, and 12. Buck Showalter's ball club will take on Toronto, and it should be an interesting division. Talking here this spring with people, everybody, managers, coaches, players, about the division. Everybody's kind of got a shrug shoulder response as to what this division is really going to look like, because it's very hard to pin down what these teams, everybody's got problems and holes, And nobody's got a real good read on the division. Real nice play made. Everett Cabrera, Tolleson is retired, and a 1-2-3 inning for Chen. Jays lead it 1-0. And there is Delmon Young, who will be coming to the plate. The Orioles' corner outfield positions. They are two of the decisions that have to be made, left and right. These are the players and the games they've played in the outfield. There's, of course, a ton of them. Lowe's had a goodly number. Chris Parmelee, Alvarez, and you see the averages in those positions.
Yeah, and then you come here. Dolan Raimo's actually playing today. Healthy for a long time. Travis Snyder, he was acquired from Pittsburgh. Where will he be the Nick Markakis of 2015 for the Orioles, playing both against righties and lefties? It's kind of big shoes to fill, as steady as Nick was for 9 years with the Orioles.
Delmon Young goes after the first pitch, and he'll foul it off.
Yeah, Buck Showalter was talking. If you were an Oriole fan last year and you got to see Delmon play, you realize, I mean, one of the great pinch hitters in the American League, 10 for 20, got some huge hits, big hits against the Tigers in the playoffs, and ran every ball out. And Buck was saying, I went back and looked because he was the #1 draft choice with Tampa Bay, and I looked how he graded out. Plus arm, plus legs, and a lot of the times you never saw that. But he came to the Orioles, and he was a different guy last year. I mean, he could always hit. But the rest of his game, I never knew he could play as well as he did.
0-2 delivery to him right there. Norris will get the strikeout. That'll be his second 2 in a row.
Yeah, try to hit this. 96 on the corner. And what Norris has been able to do is get ahead of Oriole hitters. And then right there you can see He's just sitting in. Umpire Tony Basner, as you mentioned, Gary, he moves with him. That's how you get the calls.
The Young out of there, strikeout victim. Norris will work here to Chris Davis. Davis is not originally in the lineup for the Orioles today, but he's not going to go to Lakeland. The Orioles play the Tigers tomorrow. Chris isn't going to be on the trip, and Buck Showalter did not want him missing 2 games in a row. So he changed the lineup. That's going to be into the shift. Travis the play.
Yeah, that's a good way to find out about your young middle infielders, what kind of arm strength they have. The roamer position in short right field usually goes to the guy with the best arm. All right, here, line drive, but right into the defensive shift. Well, I don't know about if Rob Manfred, the new commissioner of baseball, who said, I'm going to look at maybe they should outlaw them, but I know one guy that would like it outlawed. We're looking at him right here.
I think that's gone by the boards already, don't you think?
How do you change that?
You don't. You can't.
No.
Pitch taken for a strike, J.J. Hardy.
That'd be right up there in the hitter's Bible of no 3-2 curveballs.
That's right.
Let me know what's coming.
Yeah. Catch or call the game.
Yeah, right.
And tell me. Hardy will take the pitch. That'll be down in the dirt for J.J. He's had a 7 for 27 spring. 3 RBIs, a couple of doubles among the extra base hits. The Orioles as a team hitting .259 so far this spring. And opponents are hitting .265 against the Orioles. For what it means, and it doesn't mean very much, Toronto and Baltimore are ranked in the spring training in the American League at 4 from the bottom and 3 from the bottom. Down the line, that'll end up foul in the bullpen.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting about shifts. If you looked at Chris Davis, and there's Scott Coolbaugh, the new hitting instructor for the Orioles. If you looked at him, you actually want him to pull the ball. You know, you think, well, I don't want him to pull the ball because that's the closest place, but his power is out over the plate, so you try to jam him, make him pull it, which is what he did. He hit it well, but you play him that way.
Hardy will take it. It's right there. He just fooled him, locked him up with an 83-mile-an-hour breaking ball, and you're seeing why Chris Ball's so excited about this left-hander. I want to remind you that single game tickets for the upcoming season are on sale. You can lock in your tickets now to the best games of the year, including special promotion dates announced that include the American League East Championship wall art. That's going to be on Saturday, April 11. Buck Showalter Garden Gnomes on Saturday, June 27. The Orioles hooded sweatshirts Friday, September 11, and lots of other special days. Find out about them, Orioles.com/tickets for complete details. If you don't have a Buck Showalter gnome in your garden, they will not flower.
You know how you put your fingers up like a director does? Every day I see them. I put them right in my frame of reference.
How he's going to fit out there with the Logan
right with
video.
Earl. Right with Earl.
Right with Earl. A gnome for the garden that looks like Buck Showalter. It'll keep the bees away.
I really can't wait for it. I mean, seriously, I go, so do you get to actually kind of sign off on the prototype?
Really? Or at least get paid a lot of money.
I'll tell you what, when I texted him, he goes, no, it's not happening, but it is.
It is.
Yes.
Ryan Goings at the plate.
Lighting up all social media outlets across the world.
It's a good chance that when that day comes, we'll have one of those in the booth to show you on the air. Pretty good opportunity.
I wonder if it's not like a bobblehead. I told him, I said, anybody can be a bobblehead.
1-1, beautiful bunt. Chen, can he play the D? Got him! Nice play, Wei-Yin Chen.
Well, you got to get to it under control, and then when you do, can you keep your feet under? I mean, this is what all the spring training drills are about. Right there, plant, turn. Very gifted athlete. You know, because you're in the American League, and you don't get to see him hit very often. But a major part of pitching. I don't care if you're in the American or the National League. Can you field your position? And if he's going to throw changeups, we've already seen that today.
Yeah.
He's going to get many more comebackers than if he just tries to throw balls by guys up and in.
Already a couple of nice plays on the mound by Chen. First one ended up in a rundown with the Orioles got an out. And then that one right there.
Now just think of all the scouts sitting in the stands. They go right down a little chart. Fields his position well. And it wasn't a bad bunt by any means.
And Devon Travis on a swing and a miss. 24-year-old out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Last year played at Erie, where he hit .298. He's only had 3 years of professional baseball, attempted Florida State University.
Well, take a look, and this is really what it's about. Ryan Goins, who we saw last year, at 188. So Travis comes on. He came over in the trade. Anthony goes, who's actually probably going to start as a leadoff guy against right-handed pitching for the Tigers. Turris is hurt. Tolleson, we know.
Go to third. Manny Machado gets the big hop and gets it.
Yeah, I think I'll take a couple of bounces this time. I already got one hit to my backhand, couldn't get it. Tried the short hop. That's how they got their run off his glove. He said, this time I'll take a little more time.
And gets the out. And there are 2 down. Here in the third inning, run scoring in the first on an error, unearned run against Chen. Only hit we've had in the ball game is Tolleson's double that came in the first inning. Here is Steve Tolleson, and he will take the pitch that'll miss a little bit outside for a ball.
Yeah, when you talk about a left-handed pitcher getting better to his arm side, that is low and away to a righty. Now you can see this is where his comfort zone is, right where Joseph is, and he misses inside. So now, can you run the ball away? And he does have a 2-seam fastball. Can you throw a changeup off it? And in the years past, he's been working on it, but probably this spring more comfortable doing that.
That ball launched in the air to left field. That won't need any wind. Way back into the pavilion. I mean way back. Goodbye home run.
Well, you have a veteran minor league hitter that looking exactly what we talked about. He works the count in his favor, and then he gets a great pitch to hit and doesn't miss it. Wind starting to blow. It didn't really matter on this one, Gary.
He got all of it.
Yeah, I mean, look at the location. And it's just inside middle. A veteran minor league hitter, played in the big leagues on occasion, gets his pitch, and it's 2-0.
His second home run of the spring training season for Tolleson. The off-speed delivery. Kevin Pillar, who's got power, will be taken up high. Tolleson, of course, was with the Orioles 2012. He played at Norfolk and with the O's. So nothing like getting one against a team that you used to be with. That'll be to left directly at Reimold. He's got it. And Pillar's retired. A run on a hit, no errors, nobody left. Home run, Tolleson. 2-0, James. Beautiful Sarasota, Ned Smith Stadium. The Orioles have had sellout crowds in all but one game. Players out autographing before the ball game today. Wei-Yin Chen, 1 unearned run, 1 home run. Some outstanding D. Chen's contributed to that. Jones had that great catch. The Orioles down 2-0, looking for their first hit of the ball game. And Nolan Reimold will be the one doing that. It'll be Reimold, Joseph, and Cabrera coming up for the Orioles. Nolan making a bid to get back into the good graces of the Orioles in terms of his play. Goes after the first pitch, fouls it away. No question, health-wise, he feels as good right now as he's probably felt since his first day in pro ball.
It really has. And, John Gibbons actually had him in the lineup when he went to Toronto last year, and he said, boy, he played pretty well, and the next day we know there was another injury. And eventually,
got him. Hit the jersey on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, if you looked at what Nolan was able to do when he was healthy at the beginning of 2012, in about 66 at-bats, 11 extra base hits. And that's, again, fastball, gets the jersey. That's a good thing. And he runs well. He's a good outfielder. He can do a lot of things. And I think at the end of the day, I don't know if he's going to make the club, but he certainly gives you an option to platoon. Yeah. Because there are some guys that are going to play, maybe not against all kinds of pitching. It'll be the first time the Orioles have had successful platoon situations.
Reimold on at first base. Caleb Joseph at the plate doing the catching again today. Having a very good spring. 4 RBIs, couple of doubles. Swing and a miss and a ball away by Norris. The kid Caleb, the numbers have been so much better since the birth of his child. And he had the magic words for that. Kids got to eat, said Caleb. Kids got to eat.
Walker.
So he hits.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he did change his, his swing a little bit, trying to maybe be a little more relaxed.
And the kid's going to eat pretty good. That goes into the corner, making the turn. Reimold, he can fly. He's being waved home by Bobby Dickerson. Throw, relay to the plate is not in time. It's a double and an RBI for Joseph and a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, I think it was a high changeup, and he's all over it. A lot easier to hit a changeup up in the zone. You can see the foot get down, and then he just lashes it into the corner. And this is what Nolan Reimold brings to a ball club. Play in front of him. Run hard. Something he couldn't do for the last couple of years because of Achilles and cervical problems. And then, boy, you make it look easy. You got the chances to have a pretty big inning here only because right now, I mean, as Cabrera's going to come to the plate, his focus should be hitting something to the right side, and all of a sudden you'll put pressure on Toronto and Norris.
Tolleson playing in at third base. There is a look at the bunt. One of the things the Orioles struggled with last year, and if you look at the personnel, you understand why. The Orioles were a station-to-station ball club running. Only the Yankees and the Astros had fewer runs scored from first base on doubles in the American League last year than did the Orioles. So it was the Yankees, Astros, and Orioles, the third fewest runs coming on doubles with a runner at first base. That's what Jim's talking about. You put a Reimold in that situation, he changes that. He has the ability.
Well, same with Cabrera. The one thing, if you look at the least amount of stolen bases, but the most home runs for the Orioles in 2014. Over the last 4 years, the Orioles have stolen the least amount of bases. Doesn't mean you can't be a successful team, but in the American League. So Cabrera gives them speed if he ends up making the ball club.
Not bunting on that one, and we'll take the pitch for a ball, and it will go to 2-1.
I think in fairness, because they really do work on their base running. I mean, you can't play for Buck Showalter and not work on all facets of the game. You play half your games at Camden Yards, and it is a small ballpark, so maybe a little bit harder to score on a double there, which is probably good for the pitchers and bad for the base runners.
And the personnel just didn't give you that either. I mean, you had thumpers. Bunted on that one, and it is foul back. So Cabrera takes the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's another player trying to figure out exactly where he is going to be come opening day. Cabrera's been moved around to play in the infield and the outfield, trying to make him one of those super utility ball players, or in the case of Buck Showalter, trying to find out if he can be a super utility ball player.
Yeah, an all-star, 3 years ago for the Padres. And then the biogenesis, a number of off-field incidents.
3-2, that's fouled off. 2-2, rather. Yeah. It'll hold. You take a look at one of the questions for the Orioles at second base. How many people can you keep who might fill that role?
Yeah, well, if you look at the bottom, and you look at Scope, we know that he's a plus defender. Hit 16 home runs, low average, on-base percentage not good. Paredes, more of a utility guy, not as good defensively, and he's out of options. You can see the little star. Ryan Flaherty has options, but he can play everywhere, but hits righties better than lefties, which is why Cabrera, as a switch hitter, comes into the picture.
Yep. And the options could, in the end, I think, if there are no injuries, I think in a number of cases, it's including some maybe in the pitching department, it's who's got options and who doesn't. That may weigh, even though teams hate to talk about it that way, but may be a decision maker as to who's on the roster and who isn't.
Well, at least initially when you start a season.
Yeah, that's right, to start a year. Yeah. Cabrera reaching for that one, gets it to second base. The flip made by Travis, that will move the runner up, so he gets the job done. Runner over to third base now with one away.
Yeah, not only does he get him over, he gets a real good pitch to do it on, because Norris disdains the 94 to 96, gives him a little changeup. And, you know, the tough outs are the guys that choke up, cut their swing down, and that's exactly what Cabrera did with 2 strikes.
So Manny Machado will get the RBI chance in the leadoff spot. Machado popping out his first time up. Manny hitting a sensational .340 last year with runners in scoring position in the opportunities he had, and he only had 50 of them. Wow, breaking ball just tied Manny up. You saw him lean back and then lean forward again. That's the kind of stuff Norris has got. Hitters, as Buck Showalter likes to say, hitters will tell you how well a pitcher is pitching. And that kind of reaction tells you it's pretty good. 0-1 delivery, another one that's going to bite in the dirt this time, 1-1.
Oh, he's got good size. You know, they actually, you talked about all the articles in front of the Volkswagen van, so they showed some pictures. I mean, he eats healthy. He's very wiry, 6'3"-ish, somewhere a little bit under 200 pounds, so good frame. And the other thing is he throws the ball downhill. I mean, right there, 95. I'm not sure that with, you know, that type of body that, and he's wearing Sandy Koufax's number, that you really see the ball very well.
He's a good one. He's one of the reasons why, with a big injury to Stroman, who is going to be counted on and is out for the year as a starter for this ball club, that kind of depth to have a Norris available really matters. 1-2 delivery on the way. That one is going to be bounced.
Well, we always talk about the fact you know, John Lonstein used to say you need deep depth. I never can have enough pitchers, but Stroman, look, 11 wins in 23 starts. Looked like with Russell Marson and John, Josh Donaldson and Encarnacion, if he could stay healthy, Batista, they're going to have one heck of an offense. They outscored the Orioles last year as far as runs per game.
Yep. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way. Got him to chase one again. That tail away pitch to a right-hander that he's working on effective.
Well, if you're Manny Machado, and you can usually, this is one of the things Manny does so well, runners in scoring position, especially with third, but that's an 88-mile-per-hour changeup. So you read arm speed. The ball out of your hands. What is it? Well, he couldn't read it. And again, you have to protect 94, 96. That changeup is one heck of a pitch.
So Steve Pearce will try and get the run in from third base. Reimold, hit by a pitch leading off the inning, has already scored. RBI by Caleb Joseph, and he's over there at third base right now. After the first pitch, towering pop-up. Center fielder calling. Pilar goes with it and puts it away. So the Orioles get a run, one hit, no errors, one left on, and at the end of 3, 2-1, Jays. Well, speaking of kids eating ice cream, the Junior Orioles Dugout Club is back this year. It's one of the best values, family-wise, and entertainment in the city. Kids 14 and under get tickets to 10 games, the exclusive club hat, membership card, sports bag, and more. It's only $25. And you get exclusive giveaway items every game. Family and friends can get tickets starting as low as only $6 and a chance to upgrade. So put your family in. It's a great way to go to the ball game. Go to Orioles.com/Dugout Club or call 888-848-BIRD. Then
they do have ice cream in Camden Yards, too.
Great ice cream in Camden Yards. You can get the Dot ice cream if you want, or you can get one of those so it can run down your arm, under your pants, and your shirt. Just have a great, great time of it. Of course, if you're lucky enough, you're small enough, like the young lady, Dad will feed you.
Yeah, one of the great bargains. It's probably gone up, because I've been around forever, probably maybe $10 in 30-some years.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It is a great value.
Yeah,
plus, you get the tickets for friends and family, starting at $6.
And the Orioles are winning again.
There you go.
Bonus. Can't guarantee it on that particular day, but good chance.
Danny Valencia reached on an error. Unearned run against Chen came in the first inning. On the error at third by Manny Machado. Home run by Tolleson. The other one for the Jays. He wraps that one.
Yeah, he does it. It's funny. You get Delmon Young last year, the Orioles, because, he can hit well in the postseason, and he hits lefties. Danny Valencia, not the type of at-bats that, at least the amount of them in the postseason, but against lefties, the Orioles got him 2 years ago, mainly because he could hit lefties. And he can play third. He can play first as he is today. Out of Miami.
That'll be hit number 3 for the Jays. Dan Visaedo comes to the plate with nobody out. Visaedo grounded out his first time up. Orioles will be looking for the ground ball double play here. Big swing on a heater at 90. That popped the mitt on Joseph.
Yeah, got him out on his front foot the last time. Visaedo kind of lunging at a changeup.
He takes the strike. One strikeout.
Looks like
up so far by Chen. Norris has got 4. And he'll go after that one late on the cut again down the line. Pearce with room. Look out, coming back. He makes the catch. The breeze has picked up a little bit, blowing out to left, and it blew that ball back towards fair territory.
Well, you try to get to or at least as close to the stands as you can, and then the wind takes hold. But Steve Pearce can flat out pick it at first base, can play the outfield. Cabrera gets out of the way. I don't know if you want to run into him.
No.
Pretty compact guy. But a nice play. There is that.
Flags are right up against the
you
pole
really
when we
like the
started.
breeze if you're pitching, playing, or whatever, because it does make it a lot cooler.
So here is Justin Smoke, who flied out to right field his first time up. Smoke up, 1 down, runner on. Smoke hit only .222 against left-handers last year and only $186 against righties.
Boy, he didn't really get to play much. Back and forth. Got sent down to AAA Tacoma by the Mariners.
And they gave up. And he wraps that one into left field. Reimold on a second hop. Runner to second base is Valencia. 2 on, 1 down.
Well, Gary, you mentioned a couple innings ago about how hitters or even pitchers will tell you what's going on out there. Well, so first pitch to Valencia in the middle of the plate, whack. And then right there to Justin Smoke. It's not like Smoke can't hit mistakes. I mean, in the course of his career, when he's gotten up 450 times or more, he's hit 15, 20 home runs. It's just that long swing, strikes out, on base percentage never really what they would like.
So Caleb Gendel comes to the plate with 2 on. Big chance here. 4 hits against Chen. And the pitch will be taken for a strike.
Yeah, see, if this was a regular season, and if you go back and look at Wayne's lifetime numbers against Toronto, 1-3 with an ERA at 5.40, which is one of his highest ERAs against any team. So they will try to miss him, or at least skip his turn when possible.
That'll go to second. There's one. Cabrera, Hardy over. Big double play. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Jones will lead it off for the Orioles. Have the 2-1 lead, game 5 of 6 that these teams will play against another this spring. And a better view now for the Orioles bullpen as today they have moved into their new luxurious condominium. You go up those stairs, an umbrellaed seat outdoors down the right field line behind the fence. Where you sit in the bullpen on the far right there, you see the guys sitting down. You can't see much of anything, to tell you the truth. So now you have an opportunity to go to Cheaty Land.
Right. Yeah, Dom Cheaty, kind of the master constructor of many things, was able to elicit some help from, I think, somebody that did his kitchen. So anyway, it got done very quickly. And, of course, this is such a fabulous facility down here. The one flaw that wasn't corrected, Buck said, we need, not only for, Summer League and all that, you see the umbrellas, now they can actually see the game. They can be more engaged.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
And
and you have to You have to have a ticket to sit up there.
Well, I was going to say, unbeknownst to the players, the arrangements were made to have one of the employees of the Orioles here in the spring put on a security guard outfit. They issued passes to get up there, and if you didn't have a pass, you couldn't go up there. And most of the players, of course, didn't have passes, so they were refused entry to their beautiful condo. Those things had to be.
It's really not that far from the beach either.
Fouled off by Adam Jones. Just tells you how long spring training really is. It's trying to find things to do to break up the pattern. And
well, somebody referred to it as it's almost as long as a well-funded trust fund. It lasts forever. It lasts forever.
Lasts forever.
That might have been. I think somebody might have said that yesterday.
0-2 delivery and taken outside. You get some players really do enjoy spring training, and will say so. Others, most don't, after about the first 2 weeks.
Well, here's the guy at a plate. He had a couple home runs in a game. Adam going, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not ready for Daniel Norris because he's getting pitched to. No, he's ready. And, of course, he was hitting it yesterday. Didn't have to go on the trip. I mean, great enthusiasm. I mean, he knows what he needs to do, and that's part of, closing it on 30. Adam's had some terrific years.
2-2 delivery on the way to him. Jones will take the floater that's going to miss outside. So the count goes to 3-2 on Adam Jones.
So let's see if he gets he would love something out over the plate. He's just checking with Toby Basner behind the plate, the home plate umpire, exactly what the count is. But they've been able to pound him in with a fastball, maybe 3-2. Let's see if they go to his strength out over the plate. Nope.
Strikeout victim, first time up, fouls that one back. Talk about consistency for Adam. He's had at least 29 home runs and 30 doubles in 3 consecutive seasons. He's hit .280 or better in 5 consecutive seasons. 88 or more runs scored in 3 consecutive seasons. Those numbers just right where they are. That's who he is. That's what you expect, and that's what you get. And as a result, sometimes I think he actually gets overlooked a little bit in the lineup. I mean, you talk about guys you don't want coming out of the lineup. Certainly, this is one of them. That's going to be a base hit down the line. Into foul territory. Tolleson couldn't get it. Visaedo over. It'll be a double. Adam Jones leading off the 4th inning.
Yeah, and then the other thing, and this is really important because we always talk about, okay, this guy's a great player if you can keep him on the field. He stays on the field. Did have some freak injuries early on. There's the double, little change up 3-2. Tells you something about what Daniel Norris does as a young lefty. And it just speeds up the bat. You pull the ball. If you're Tolleson, you're assuming, boy, he's going to probably throw him a fastball. And there's your potential tying run.
2-1 ball game. So Norris gives up his second hit. Double by Caleb Joseph that drove in a runs the other. Came in with the off-speed delivery to Young, who was a strikeout victim his first time up. Norris has that great arm movement with that changeup, Jim, doesn't he?
Well, that was we've seen a lot of good changeups. He's gotten a lot of strikeouts, 4 in the afternoon, but that is a power curveball. And a power curveball, you don't pick up the spin.
That one is nubbed towards second base. Running play made. Travis gets it over there. Does move the runner up.
Yeah, nice play by Travis because, again, I think there's, he's looking at the runner, Adam Jones, going from second to third, but you're in a 1-run lead. So a nice job. You can see Delmon trying to inside out the ball. Right there, he takes a look and then gets the out number 1.
So the Orioles with a couple chances to tie the ball game up now as Young has the effective at bat, productive.
Yeah, so now you bring Chris Davis to the plate. He'd love to do what he did the last time, which is hit a one-hop line drive to the second baseman. That'll tie the game up.
And, of course, with the runner at third base, Tolleson in the shift has got to play over near third. Can't allow Jones to be just walking off the bag. And Chris takes it up high. We mentioned Chris bunted against the Pirates yesterday in Bradenton for a base hit. It was a leadoff batter situation, and they had the full shift on. Chris laid a beautiful bunt down to third, and obviously nobody had a chance to get him. If he goes on to move up, maybe score, it's a great play. Next hitter, hit into a double play, so it's an awful play, if you will.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of things you deal with when you talk about Chris Davis or players like him bunting. There are situations where Buck Showalter believes you should, but if you got a chance for an RBI, extra base hit, that's what Davis gets paid for. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way to him, and that's in there for a strike.
And then, Tolle went out and to talk to Daniel Norris. And this is one of those strikeout situations if you're a young, hard thrower. Typical year. Chris is, even on his good years, 53 home runs, 33 home runs, he strikes out about a third of the time. So he's trying to put it in play. They're trying to punch him out.
We got him called, and he doesn't agree with it. Strikeout number 5 for Norris.
Well, you mentioned the strike zone can get pretty big in the spring. I think Chris Davis thinks this breaking ball is outside, and it's hard to tell from that angle, but certainly close enough for Bassner to call it behind the plate. And again, well-executed pitch. Totally right out on the corner. Boy, if you I was sitting behind Caleb Joseph today behind home plate, and if you look from the inside corner to the outside corner, even if you're a professional umpire, it's a long way.
Mm-hmm. And the delivery with the runner at third goes to Hardy. J.J. Hardy, a strikeout victim, his first time up. J.J. last year with that big 315 number with runners in scoring position. A situational baseball where the Orioles did so well. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Turn that one over. It'll miss outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Orioles have Jones on at third. He let it off with a double, and now trying to get him home with 2 down. One delivery by Norris, and that will miss outside. That was a 96 miles an hour.
It's not too hard to understand why they gave him a couple of $1 million to sign.
Gee, he's impressive. And we'll get a chance to show it this season for the Jays. 2-1 delivery on the way, and gets him out in front over the top.
Well, and he's shown, even the double to Adam Jones to lead off the inning was on a 3-2 changeup. So right there, J.J. Hardy's looking fastball. He's got the count in his favor, and he pulls the string. And if you'll do it 2-1, you'll do it in any count.
Pretty good confidence for a 21-year-old.
And it makes it harder to hit. Hey, he's going to turn 22, April 25th?
Yep. And off his glove. Goins will make the play and get the out. 1-6-3 on that one. No runs despite a leadoff double as Jones is left stranded. Jays have a 2-1 lead. See more spring training action from Sarasota. Pirates are going to be in town to take on the O's, and our coverage a night game will be on Masson at 7 p.m. Be sure to log on to MassonSports.com all spring long for daily news and notes from Orioles spring training. Mike Wardick will be joining me for those ball games. Wardy down in the dugout today with the Orioles. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer up here with you for this one. Or Jays have the 2-1 lead in this ball game. We'll put Wardy back to work. And
Iron Mike.
Did you check him out throwing batting? I watched him yesterday. What a machine. If he throws a ball, which is very rare, I think he did one in maybe 20 minutes yesterday, he doesn't like it.
No. Pitch is taken inside as Chen continues on here into the 5th inning of this ball game. Weighing Chen. Tolleson. 1-0 delivery to him on the inside corner for a strike.
Yeah, back-to-back changeups. But the changeup, and Dave Wallace was talking about, the Oriole pitching coach. He said he kind of stiffens his wrist so he doesn't throw it like he does his fastball. So that's why sometimes it's hard to control. There's 3 in a row right there. So something you work on. Again, eventually, if you can ever, at least in the hitters, the back of their minds, and make them think that you'll throw it, as Norris has done in any count.
That'll go to left field. Wind will blow it back a bit. Reimold's got plenty of room, though, and puts it away. Toley's retired. Chen worked 5 1/3 innings in his last outing, or 5+ innings against the Red Sox. So he'll try and extend that or equal that here in this ball game. He gave up only a run on 2 hits in that game. He's given up 2 runs, 1 earned on 4 hits in this one. Ryan Goings coming up. Goings batting 9th. He grounded out his first time up, getting the start at shortstop, and the pitch outside. Reyes, of course, will be at short, barring any injuries, for the Jays on opening day. He's having a great spring, hitting .364. Reyes is, with a home run and 4 RBIs. As we've said many times, when Reyes wants to play and decides he's going to, he is a great factor.
Yeah, he had a nice year, over 280. He really brings speed to the Blue Jays lineup. Stole over 30 bases and only thrown 30 out of 32. But they're still, it's kind of like the Orioles are looking to see who's going to play second base for them. Is it going to be Cabrera, or Scope, or Flaherty, or a combination? And they're still looking in Toronto for a second baseman.
Goings takes it on the outside corner. It is there for a strike. Chen 2-2.
Yeah, we saw him talking about Ryan Goings over the last couple of years, and I was talking to Brooke Jacoby, and he's having a good spring, he said, because he's been able to clear his head. He never really had a plan, and that's nothing unusual for young hitters.
Jammed him on that one. It'll go to second base. Cabrera, the running throw. Picked at first by Pearce. Nice play, both ends.
Yeah, you got somebody who can run a little bit. And again, you're playing deep. And then you got to make a nice little throw off balance, and this is what Steve Pearce can do. Right? That is not an easy play, and he made it look routine.
Goings got to wonder what he's got to do for a hit. He got robbed the first time up by Chen, who snagged the ball on a comebacker. Now he gets taken out on a fine bang play at first base. That barn ball is going to go to short. J.J. Hardy's got it. Devon Travis is retired. 1-2-3 inning. So a quick one for Wei and Chen. It remains a 2-1 Jays lead. Kids opening day. It's going to be on Sunday, April 12th, as the Birds take on the Blue Jays at 1:35. All families are invited for this first Sunday home game to enjoy the feature of a braided necklace. It'll be given out to the first 7,500 kids 14 and under, and the chance for all fans 14 and under to run the bases after the game. That's all coming up on April 12th. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD, and several lucky children are going to get a chance to participate in a unique experience that day, delivering lineup cards to home plate or taking the field with the ball club for the national anthem. So mark that. Kids opening day, April 12th. Foul back overhead. Tolleson has gone to left field. Usaeto's gone to first base. And Valencia's playing over at third. As Nolan Reimold will take the pitch, and Reimold, hit by a pitch in the third inning, would come around to score in the double by Caleb Joseph for the lone run on the board so far for the Orioles. Reimold, Joseph, and Cabrera due up. Norris has pitched close, and he's had a lot of those. Close, but not quite. 2-1.
What I like is, yeah, he missed, but he missed low. You can see totally moves in, puts the glove there. How many 21-year-old kids with this kind of stuff can hit their targets?
And a chopper hit right in front of the plate, cut off by the third baseman. Valencia threw it wild, held on to it first. Usaedo, and that speed again of Reimold forcing the play.
Well, it's not only, as you know, I mean, it's not only the speed out of the box, it's that if you're Danny Valencia, the minute, watch this right here, he can't get it out of the glove. Now he knows I have to hurry, and when you hurry, things aren't going to go well. So again, the fact that you can't take your time, it's not it's a plus runner, one of the best, at least when he's healthy, and it appears healthy, one of the quickest guys out of the right-handed batter's box in the American League. He does put a lot of pressure on the defense.
He will be credited with a single on that. And here's Caleb Joseph, who had a double and an RBI his first time up. Orioles get their third hit of the ball game. Norris's pitch is in there for a strike. Norris worked his last outing against Tampa Bay 5 2/3 innings with a run on 5 hits in that ball game. He had 5 strikeouts. He's got 4 today. He hasn't walked anybody in this ball game. 0-1, and Joseph will take it down low, 1-1.
How about Buck Showalter, the Orioles skipper's idea of maybe putting a time clock on how fast you run out of the box to first base? That would get people's attention. Or maybe how fast you don't run.
We'll get the Players Association's attention, I guarantee you that. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. I mean, Buck had a valid, we're fooling around and talking about it, but Buck was saying, hey, they put the radar gun up on pitchers, how fast they throw. Why shouldn't they have something up on the board as to how fast runners are or aren't? Which is
where
I think
the
it was
problem kind of, where the aren't was.
Where they aren't, 2 ball, 1 strike count. Reimold off first base. It'll be fouled back by Joseph, and a 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Well, it seems like, it's just kind of a classic case of the obvious. If you're a major league player, not that you have to be fast, but you just have to run as hard as you can and hustle down the line. And usually when you do that, even if you happen to be somewhat slow of foot, you make your manager happy.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Joseph lines that one. Short hop. What a play goings. Double play. Travis with a return to first, but what a stop by the Toronto shortstop.
Yeah, that's the first part of it. I'm not sure he had to flip it quite as quickly, but when you do it as adeptly as he's going to, there's the key right there. I mean, he had time to make a conventional throw. Didn't need to do it. So a hot shot that could have been a base hit turns into a double play. And if you're Daniel Norris, you go, thank you very much.
Outstanding defense. So now 2 down, bases are empty. And here is Everth Cabrera. And Norris's pitch to him will be in the outside corner for a strike. Cabrera grounded out his first time up.
Well, there are pitchers that are afraid of contact, and a lot of times it's because your stuff's not good, or you don't have movement, or keep getting behind hitters. But even there, you got a 21-year-old kid who is going to get a chance to start for a team that has a chance to be one of the best offensive teams in baseball, who's not afraid of throwing the ball over. That's a huge plus.
Yeah, big plus.
And, you know, sometimes you want to throw it over and your windup doesn't allow you. I mean, I kind of went through that early in my career. But if you look at his numbers in the minor leagues, 1-7 his first year. The next year he walked one every 2 innings, and then the base on balls came down dramatically.
Well, his ability to repeat that delivery looks like it's ingrained at the age of 21. 1-2 delivery on the way. Jammed him a little bit over the bag. Chance for another good play. Travis gets it there. Wow. Pretty good deep. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Only 3 batters face. It remains a 2-1. Jays lead. That's your Dogs. And Wei Chen making the start for the Orioles today. Looks to be number 2 in the rotation when the season starts, and did nothing to hurt that today. Adam Jones some help behind defensively, and Chen himself making 2 fine defensive plays in the ballgame. His day is completed. He leaves with the Jays on top 2-1.
Yeah, only the home run to Tolleson. Brian Webb will come on in relief, slowed down by the right knee problem, so he is back healthy. Up with the Orioles for about the first 3.5 months, and then in September. Sinker slider, and another guy that is out of options. So we'll see again if he makes the Oriole ball club. Boy, when he's healthy, he can pitch pretty well. It was almost last year, and Buck Showalter's so good at kind of using his bullpen without getting him tired, but it maybe looked like he got a little overworked only because, you know, Sinker wasn't sinking, and then all of a sudden he ran into some trouble, and Brad Brock came up, went 7-1, and Ryan had trouble getting back to the big leagues until the month of September.
Kawasaki getting his first at bat in the ball game as Chen leaves. 2 runs, 1 earned, just 4 hits, no walks, and he had 1 strikeout. So Wei and Chen, a very effective performance for the Orioles here in this ball game. Kawasaki will lift that one in the air to right center field. That ball just keeps going. Delmon Young cannot catch up to it off the scoreboard. Kawasaki's on his way to third, and he's going to go in. No play on him. He's got a triple to lead off the inning.
Well, when he sees a bird, an Oriole bird, the bat gets going. A couple of years ago, home runs off Tommy Hunter, double to beat Jim Johnson. Right here, ball just, as you mentioned, carries, wind's now blowing. Really kind of a cross, so anything in the air, and right here he knows it's going to be not a double, but a leadoff triple.
So a chance to add a run to it. See how the Orioles want to play this. Webb on the mound will work to Kevin Pillar. They'll keep the defense back here in a 2-1 ball game in the 6th inning. And Pillar will take a breaking ball that had a lot of bend on it. It is in there for a strike. 82 miles an hour. Pillar, the fielder's choice in the first inning, would score the unearned run. Danny Valencia came up after him, reached on an error, allowing the run to score. Got a hold of that one down the line, left field, and way back. Goodbye home run. Boy, the home runs today, one by Tolleson and one by Pilar, have been monsters. That one's good for 2 runs and a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, a week ago Tuesday, Orioles played the Twins in a game that we did. They hit for the cycle with home runs. Solo, 2-run, 3-run. Well, I saw this kid, last year and the year before, looked like a good fastball hitter. Look how he keeps his hands in. And when you're able to do that, you're able to keep it down the line but not hook it foul. And again, here at Sarasota, when the wind blows as it is now, anything in the air down the line, good chance to get out of here.
Boy, that went a long way. Pilar gets his 2nd home run of the spring. Ezekiel Carrera up at the plate. This will be the first at bat he has had in the ball game. So Webb greeted with a triple and a home run. And the first 2 batters against him. Carrera waiting on it. He'll launch it to right field. Young's got a bead. And the ball.
Well, that's 3 contacts and all of them belt high, and that's not where Ryan Webb wants to be. And anytime you hurt your legs, and that hurts your conditioning, especially if it's a knee, and then all of a sudden you got to get in shape, you have to find your arm slot. And today, at least so far, doesn't have it. At least he's going to get some work in.
So that'll bring up Dan Visaedo with 1 down, nobody on, and a couple of runs in here in the 6th inning. He goes after the first pitch, drives it to center field. Jones makes the catch 1 step shy of the 400-foot mark in dead center.
Well, Willie Mays right there. This is how Willie used to do it. Never took his eyes off it. You need to spray that glove gold. Got 4 of them.
Long way to go. Wayne Kirby, first base coach, who also directs the outfielders. Big smile on his face after that catch was made. Here is Justin Smoak. The Orioles defense goes into the full shift. Smoak's got a base hit, and he is flied out. 4-1 lead now for the Jays. Webb's delivery away, 4-6-0 for Toronto, 1-3-1 for the Orioles.
Now, all you have to do is look at Ryan Webb, and when he's a big guy, 6'6", when he goes left, the arm drops and everything flattens out. So 4 batters, everything belt high in the middle of the plate. There's a good changeup, and doesn't get the call. Such a fine line between keeping that front shoulder and throwing over it versus kind of being like a merry-go-round. And they see it better. It flattens out, and then you become very hittable.
That one close again.
Yeah, he doesn't get that pitch. I mean, that's where he wants to live.
And it goes to 3-0. I think that's the first 3-0 count we've had in the ball game by any pitcher.
I think Norris went 3-2 and then threw a changeup.
Outside, yeah. So on 4, he walks him.
Well, it's funny. I don't know how long Norris is going to go. If maybe it's only going to be 5 or 6 innings. But when you play for good teams, you want to do what Daniel Norris did, which is really don't get in any serious jams early. Stay around to the mid-innings. This is how Chen won 16 games, got over 5.5 runs a game last year, and take your chances. So
here's Caleb Gendel, runner on at first base and 2 down. And Webb's delivery to him, a breaking ball that will be in there for a strike. He is flied out and hit into a double play today. Short lead at first base. Smoak not going anywhere. And couldn't hold up on that. Went around on it on a 9-iron shot and a 2-strike count. Bullpen battle. Webb is certainly part of that. At this point, you've got Britton, O'Day, Hunter, and Brian Mattis subject to the trade. Pretty secure in the bullpen, but you've got Wright, Gonzalez, Brock, the Rule 5 players, Verita, Garcia, and Webb. Who makes the bullpen to begin the season this year? And we put Gonzalez in that because right now it doesn't look like Miguel will be in the starting rotation, with probably Kevin Gausman getting that role, although that certainly isn't in stone.
And the reason for that is that they feel more comfortable if Ubaldo Jimenez, who pitched 5 shutout innings yesterday, is going to able to be a starter. He'd be better starting than relieving.
Yep. Gets the strikeout, a couple of runs score. Pilar gets the 2-run homer, a 4-1 Jays lead. To get your Orioles all-new official legacy book. It's Baltimore Orioles, 60 Years of Orioles Magic. The book features behind-the-scenes stories, photos from the team's first 6 decades, special intro by our own Jim Palmer, and all Orioles full or partial season plan members receive 20% on a discount on purchasing the book. To reserve your copy, go to Orioles.com/book today. Carrera, who you saw at the plate, has come on to play in left field now. Fields comes on to play in center, and Goins moves over to third base. Kawasaki will play short. So John Gibbons getting folks in and out of the lineup here. Orioles 9-13 on the spring. Toronto 12-9 in spring games so far. Here's Manny Machado, and the pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
Yeah, coming in, both clubs playing great baseball. With Toronto 9 out of 11 in the win column. Orioles 5 out of the last 6.
Norris has gone the distance for the Jays. He has walked none, struck out 5, and hit a batter. Working here into the bottom half of the 6th inning. And the top of the order, Pearce and Jones will be due up against this 21-year-old left-hander. 1-1 delivery, and he pops that one up in the air. And that'll be out of play and a souvenir.
Yeah, I just kind of looked at when you see a radar gun can tell you some things as far as the velocity, but what about the movement? What about the life? So the Orioles have a very good high ball hitting ball club, and if you look at their lineup, with the exception of Adam Jones and maybe Caleb Joseph, haven't been able to get to that stuff up in the zone. And of course, he's got a curveball and changeup to go with it. There's the change.
Nasty pitch down low, and he gets him out of there in a strikeout.
Well, he has such good arm action, and when you throw 96, you're reading, okay, I better get ready for 96. So I was a little late, and then he just pulls the string with a good changeup. And the other thing, you can see totally just put his glove down. He threw it exactly where his catcher wanted it.
Came in with 14 strikeouts in 4 games. He has added 6 to that total here today. Steve Pearce. Pearce has popped out, flied out. Orioles have an RBI double by Caleb Joseph for their run. Left field, wind will carry it a bit. Carrera goes back, and he's got it. There are 2 down.
So Steve Pearce, 3 outs, home runs in 5 of the last 6 games, all on first pitches. Thought he had his pitch to hit. All 3 of them in the air. 2 pop-ups and a pretty deep fly ball.
We mentioned he's been going early in the order trying to hit pitches. I mean, incredibly, Pearce, he has not walked, and he has only 1 strikeout so far this spring, along with the big offensive numbers. So he's going up there. Steve Pearce swinging a bat. 2 down, nobody on. That'll bring up Jones. Adam got a double leading off the 4th, but was stranded at third base. The Orioles have not been able to get a hit with a runner in scoring position in this ball game. Orioles have had about 8 of those at bats here against Norris. And Jones will take that one. It is in there for a strike. He's been up there at 96 miles an hour at times, throwing about 93 now.
Yeah, very efficient.
Did he go? Foul tipped?
Yeah, everybody talks about low pitch count. I mean, Zach Britton, the Orioles closer, he's at 13.8 pitches per inning, but he's a sinker baller. Most guys are, if you're good, 16. Tillman somewhere in that range, 16.6.
1-2 delivery, and then got him to chase the one down. So that's 7 strikeouts. What a performance. 21-year-old Norris on this beautiful day here in Sarasota. second in this game. Adam Jones with a fine catch in center field. Wei-Yin Chen helping his own cause, getting the out at first base, and then the quick double play. Cabrera at second base. Congratulations. Jones another play, hauling one down deep in left field. So the Orioles D's helped them out today, even though the Jays have a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, Brian Mattis will come on here to pitch in the seventh inning. Look at that spring. They started him a couple of times. This will be game number 5. 2 as a starter, 2 in the bullpen. Hasn't walked anybody yet. And when you talk to him, yeah, he said, I know about the swirling trade rumors. And of course, his skipper said, you know, sometimes you don't realize how good somebody was until he leaves. But he's done a nice job over in years past. You know, early on in his career as a starter, struggled because the team wasn't very good. And the last couple of years, very much like this, they've kind of stretched him out, hope that he can rediscover the ability to get right-handers out, but dominant against lefties. And the other number, if you're a reliever, Gary, as you know, inherited runners. Done a great job. Is that a hawk?
Yes. Don't mess around. Come get you. We got to the 7th inning. And the pitch from Mattis in their first strike. New York Mets are the team seemingly in the rumor mill most interested in Brian Mattis. Reports out of New York yesterday were that while they are interested, the New York papers saying there have been no talks between the Mets and the Orioles regarding Brian Mattis, but the scouts are filing their reports with the Mets. So we'll see.
And they were, what, about 10, 12, 14 scouts in the press room here at Sarasota. They'll be doing the same thing. They're last year's numbers.
Josh Tolley, and he'll take the pitch, which will miss. 0 for 2. He is flied out and grounded out. Well, it's one of the ways the Orioles can deal with what we've talked about throughout the game here. They've got an excessive number of players in certain positions, bullpen being one of them, that they have to answer. And with limited number of options, a trade is one way to take care of that problem.
Yeah,
I made Cabrera.
Yeah, I was, you know, again, you kind of look at the roster and you're going, okay, you got Wesley Wright from the Cubs. So let's take a look here. Brittany's a closer, 37 out of 41. Hunter, Mattis, those were the late inning shutdown guys. Miguel Gonzalez really a starter. Brad Brock, 7-1, as we mentioned, came over last year. So no options there. And then you have Jason Garcia, hard-throwing right-hander. I think we might see him today. Mm-hmm. Webb does have options. Had a 2-year deal. And spent some time in the minor leagues. But if you give up Mattis, who's going to take his place? Mm-hmm. And what are you going to get that you need in return? So I guess there was some of the questions that the Orioles will be pondering, or maybe not. They probably already pondered them.
Yes. He's trying to find some way to get a hit. He robbed by Chen on a fine defensive play his first time up, and then got robbed by Cabrera at second base on a ground ball last time up. One away here in the 7th inning. Brian Mattis, a 1-1 delivery, and that one's going to miss down low.
And then you talk to some of the scouts, and you know the numbers are superlative, but they look, velocity may be down. There's always been a question if he's going to start down the road, what kind of fielder he is.
2-1 delivery is swung on and missed as he throttles back on it, had him out in front.
Yeah, 89 miles per hour, and you know we've seen Brian, and of course this is only one day in the spring, 92, 93. So scouts notice that.
2 good starts, as Jim was mentioning, against Tampa Bay and Boston, 3 innings and 4 innings respectively. Foul tipped into the mitt. Joseph hangs on, and the out's a strikeout.
Yes, sir. There's Good Life. It's 90, so yeah, maybe it used to be 92 or 3, or maybe it'll be that on Saturday. But the fact that he's able to stay behind it, this ball's right in the zone, and you get the foul tip right into the glove.
Brian gets the first 2 outs here in the 7th inning, top of the order. Devon Travis up. He has struck out and grounded out twice. 400 hitter coming into the ball game this spring, and the pitch to him down low for a ball.
Yeah, came in 16 for his last 30. So certainly seizing the opportunity. See, there's a changeup, and that's the reason he, as he did last spring, trying to, and right there, Buck going, boy, that wasn't a very good changeup. He did get the strike, but when he was Brian Mattis as a starter, he could locate down and away, arm side, and that's been a struggle over the last couple of years, which doesn't mean he can't get lefties out, because he does. But if you're Buck Showalter, wouldn't you like a guy that can maybe give you an inning or two like Tommy Hunter? It would really make the bullpen a lot easier to navigate through over the course of 162 games.
2 ball, 1 strike count with 2 away. Ryan's delivery on the way, and that's there in the outside corner for a strike. Dave Wallace had come to God meeting with all the pitchers in the organization and coaches, and Dave made it abundantly clear regarding positioning on the mound for pitchers. I don't care where you stand. Stand on your tiptoes. What I want to see is an out. Don't worry about where you're standing. Foul back. If you can move some one way or the other and it makes you better, move that way.
There are no absolutes. What works for you?
And because over the past few years, we've talked a lot about not just Oriole pitchers, but pitchers in general moving around in the rubber.
Yeah, you can see Brian's right in the middle of the rubber, which is where I pitch, because I thought it allows me to go in, go away.
And that one fouled off and held on to. Good job, Caleb Joseph. A couple of strikeouts where the catcher helped out hanging on to it. Good inning as Mattis retires the side in order. 7th inning stretch time for Sarasota. 4-1 Jays. Is presented by authority of the Baltimore Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. Great to have you with us here in Sarasota. The Orioles down as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Another big crowd on hand for this one. And we'll see Steve Delmar take to the mound.
Yeah, we talked about the offense with a number of new players. So how's your bullpen? Delmar, a big part of it when he's healthy. Last year, shoulder problems, but having a good spring. So we had, Daniel Norris out of Johnson City, Tennessee. Now you have Kentucky, Elizabethtown. That's where he lives. Born in Fort Knox. Big, tall right-hander.
Delmar, a couple of years ago, mainstay in the bullpen for Toronto. Delmon Young leads it off against him with a towering shot to left center field. Will the wind carry it back to the wall? And goodbye, home run. Delmon Young makes it a 4-2 ball game.
Struggles against the lefties, as all the Oriole hitters did. And then you bring in the hard-throwing righty, one pitch. Orioles get their second run, first home run of the afternoon. The Blue Jays with 2 so far.
2 home runs this spring for Delmon Young, accounting for both of his RBIs.
Yeah, you want to get ahead and you get behind right here. He had a run to the Orioles total. Fastball in the middle of the plate, and he belts it.
Well, the Orioles make it a 2-run ball game. Here's Chris Davis. A bit ironic, talking about the Orioles needing to replace the home runs that they lost with Cruz and Markakis. The Orioles, so far this spring, they are leading the American League in home runs. That's the 26th they've had this spring. That one deep Not enough to get it out of the yard, though. Fields is there, and Davis is retired. Kawasaki's gone from short to second for the Jays this inning, and Diaz has come on to play at shortstop. Defensive changes for John Gibbons' Ball Club. Steve Delmar gets the first out. Great outing by Norris. Jays starter gave up a run on 3 hits. He didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 7, working the full 6 innings. J.J. Hardy off Delmar will take the strike in the outside corner.
Yeah, you'd want a handful if Pete Walker, the pitching coach, John Gibbons, the manager of the Blue Jays. You'd take a handful of Daniel Norris's. Maybe more than one. That's how good he was.
Got around on that one and will pull it foul.
Yeah, that's a little split-fingered fastball that he has that he leaves up. And there you go. That's the number you talked about, Gary. 26 spring home runs.
I think that would probably be, even in spring training, a bit of a surprise to a lot of fans that the Orioles would lead American League in home runs in the spring. That one will be in the dirt, away, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Delmar, last season, up and down AAA and the big club, he worked 730 games. 3-0 record, 4.91 earned run average. He only worked 25 innings in the 30 outings he had. 1-2 pitch. Little movement on that away. Doesn't get the call on it, though. Good eye by J.J. Hardy. Hardy is struck out, grounded out, and a 2-2 count from Delmar.
Yeah, for J.J., who signed a 3-year extension, only 9 home runs, back injury early on last year. So the power number's down. Used probably, at least as a former pitcher, probably used the whole field better than in years past. But, you know, a typical year for him, at least with the Orioles, 20 to 30 home runs. Certainly looks healthy this spring.
Yep. Feels good in playing that way. Here's the 3-2 delivery by Delmar off the plate, and that one is going to go foul. For Toronto last year, regarding the Toronto bullpen, they ended up 12th in the American League, 12 out of the 15 teams in ERA. They had a 4.09 out of their bullpen. They need to improve that this season. Their starters were ranked only 11th in ERA at 3.96. As Jim said, they lived on their offense last season, scoring more runs even than the Orioles did. Punches that one, knocked down. Saedo makes the flip. Delmar covering, and they get the out. Another outstanding defensive play.
Yeah, you know, we saw Viciedo, at least with the White Sox, playing mostly either the DH or playing the outfield position. Abreu played first base, but, I mean, this saves a base hit right here. You're looking for runners. It's down to 4-2. Beebe into right field, knocked down, and then Delmar does his job, gets over there. Yeah, Brett Cecil, apparently, who struck out almost 13 per 9 innings, is going to be the closer, very much like Jake McKee has done for Tampa. You know, guy that was a setup guy. Casey Jansen had 30 saves, I believe, for the Blue Jays last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he left as a free agent. No.
They were going to go with a double bullpen in the closing department. Sanchez was going to work out of that position as well, but now with the injuries to their starters, Sanchez really gets moved to where he should be, which will be in the starting rotation. And that will free it up for a one-man closer position.
Yeah, I was reading about they have a couple of really young players. Miguel Castro, 6'5", 190 pound. I think he's 21 years old, throws 99 miles per hour, and he throws it over.
Yeah.
It's a rarity.
Nolan Reimold on a breaking ball. He's had a single, hit by a pitch, scored a run. Good day for Reimold, part of the Orioles offense. Delmar 3-0 against him.
Yeah, they've been talking all spring about, is it more important to have Sanchez as a closer, or do you need a fifth starter, or whatever he turns out to be, third, fourth, fifth starter?
That down to third is a fair ball back on the grass deep. Alex makes the throw, and that's going to come off the facade of the stands.
Yeah, the problem, he's moved around. We've seen him at short. We saw him at second. Now, because he's playing so deep, I mean, look, he's out in the outfield. So that's not a throw that you practice. He drops his elbow just enough to get the ball up. Viciedo's trying to catch it, also keep his foot on the bag, and now all of a sudden you get the tying run coming to the plate here in the 7th.
Boy, Reimold's speed has been a very big factor in this ball game. He gets another single. He had a single in the 5th inning that came because of his speed. And he scored in the third inning because he was able to come around from first on a double by Caleb Joseph.
He makes routine plays, not routine.
No.
And that's what running hard does.
So the Orioles with 2 down get Joseph to the plate, double and an RBI, sent into a double play. The other RBI, the home run this inning by Delmon Young. And Caleb Joseph continues his very fine spring. Fouls that one back, just missed.
Yeah, tried to change his his stance and new hitting instructor. So Scott Coolbar, okay, what can we do? Maybe remember Paul Molitor now managing the Twins. Maybe relax the hands a little bit. Take the loop out of the swing.
Down to third. The ball's foul. How much will Caleb be asked to catch this season? The question of Matt Wieters. I thought Jim Henneman, the longtime writer and covering of the Orioles, had a very fine article this week where he raised the possibility of, is this injury to Matt Wieters career threatening? Nobody knows for sure, but it's a little unusual that Matt would DH in all those games. Then he would catch one game where he had to make no throws. And then you get the tendonitis in the elbow, and now he can't even DH. He can't bat.
Yeah, well, that is unusual, and that's what tendonitis does. You know, he had the Tommy John because it's a ligament, so you repair that. Now, I like to think that maybe when he took another MRI, it didn't show any other kind of maybe ligament inflammation or whatever, but again, we don't know all of it. All we didn't know is what we were told, and that's that he has tendonitis and he's kind of resting.
That ball will go to second base off the end of the bat. Kawasaki's there to handle it. So the Orioles will add a run on a couple of hits. They leave one on. Delmon Young leading the inning off, gets his second home run of the spring after 7 for 2 Jays. $1,283 the attendance here in Sarasota at Ed Smith Stadium for this ball game today. Blue Jays on top with the 4-2 lead in the game. Here's Darren O'Day.
Oh, there you are. It's going to be the 6th game. He talks about the fact that probably needs about 9 or 10 innings, and he will get that. Working on a changeup. Chen threw a lot of them today as a starting pitcher. Breaking ball, sinker, riser, a little bit of a swerve type pitcher. I mean, outstanding pitcher. Look at the Orioles last year. A big part of it. Can pitch multiple innings, can get righties and lefties out, could save if he had to. Struggled a little bit at the end because he had a little bit of a leg problem, which is no longer a problem. So again, working on that third pitch, and says it's coming along quite nicely.
7th appearance, working 1 inning in each of the first 6 ball games he's appeared in. Kawasaki getting his second at bat. He had a double, scored a run in the 6th inning. Darren O'Day will be a solid part of that bullpen for the Orioles. He and Tommy Hunter on the back end of it. Ball in the air, center, Jones running, another nice catch. Adam has played a very shallow center field in many ball games this season against many hitters, and if he doesn't do it there, that ball's a base hit, but he was in again.
Well, and a lot of it has to do with his up at the plate. Good pitch right here. He gets jammed if he's playing, like you said, a little bit deeper because of the way the wind blows. But Adams in that rare category of outfielders that goes back as well as they come in. I mean, Earl Weaver used to scream at everybody but Paul Blair because Earl used to always say, hey, it's easier to come in. It is. So you play a little bit deeper. But the best, the good ones, the 4-time Gold Glovers, Blair won 8 of them. He always knew where the fence was.
Yep. First time to the plate, Roman Fields. The at-bat came on to play center field last year. You see he had a ball where he had a good 269 batting average. And Fields gets the opportunity, part of the traveling squad for this ball club. O'Day, 0-1 count, 1 down. And Fields trying to lash at it and not catching up to it.
That's a good way to try to hit Darren O'Day. Lash at it.
Reaching, and no, not there. 0-2. Got a hold of that one. That goes to the gap. Delmon Young's not going to get it. It'll roll all the way to the wall. Fields got good speed. He's thinking 3. Not thinking about it anymore. He'll go in, no play. Stand-up triple. Well, Fields with his first at bat of the ball game. Little zip on the hit and a lot of speed on the base.
Well, he stole 48 bases last year, and so if you could steal bases, you can certainly turn a double into a triple. Hit it up the gap. You're not playing that deep, little guy. So another elevated pitch, and he's all over it.
So the infield will be drawn in here in the top of the 8th inning. Hit number 6 for Toronto. And they'll try and cut this run off. Ezekiel Carrera at the plate, second at bat, flied out. First time up, pitch, throw, pick off, got him if caught. Not caught, bounces away. They had him.
Yeah, you get it, but I guess if you're
runner.
Yeah, it did, and you don't have a whole lot of time other than just air it out down there. And then, of course, when you're diving back in the bag, well, look at this angle right here. So there's a Caleb Joseph throw. It's not that bad one, but you're going right back in fair territory. So it's a tough catch and tag if you're Manny Machado.
Yep. Fields, obviously, someone who can run. Cabrera will put it up in the air. That'll get a run in. Reimold goes back deep, makes the catch, sac fly. Carrera makes it a 5-2 Jays lead.
Well, you like to see that if you're John Gibbons and the Blue Jays. You get a young player that turns a double into a triple because of his speed, and then you have another young player against a very deceptive right-hander put the ball on the bat.
Good job getting it done. Now with 2 down, bases are cleared here in the 8th inning. Misato coming up. He's had an 0 for 3 in the ball game today. So he's had 7 hits now and 32 at-bats with 1 RBI this spring. And O'Day looking to get him and finish off the inning. Pitch is going to be taken for a strike. 0-1 count, 2 down. Brian Mattis worked an inning. He had a couple of strikeouts. Webb worked an inning, 2 runs, 2 hits. 1 walk and 1 strikeout. That one popped up first base. Pearce in fair territory puts it away. So a run in, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Bottom of the 8th, 5-2 Jays. 5-2 ball game with the Jays on top, with the starters going deep into the game. Now the relievers on to work an inning each, and here is Jeff Francis for his inning.
Yeah, we saw him early on, so there's spring training, a little bit of a struggle, even though not a lot of innings, so you don't get a total read. Last year, Cincinnati, Oakland, and the Yankees. Former starting pitcher actually had some outstanding years. 17-game winner with Colorado. Very deceptive. 6'5", kind of throws 3/4, change up. That's his best pitch. Let's see if the Orioles can get a couple guys on.
So Jeff Francis will deliver, and that'll be down low. Andy Burns has come on to play at first base for Toronto here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Everett Cabrera will foul that one away. He's taken an 0 for 2. You don't see many lines what Jim was talking about with Jeff Francis. Played AAA Louisville, and then Cincinnati, Oakland, and New York, the Yankees, all at the major league level. 1 game with the Reds, 9 with Oakland, and 2 with New York. Great off-speed pitch, heading way out in front of it. He ended up being signed by Cincinnati before the season started. Then they waived him, and Oakland picked him up. Then he was traded to the Yankees for a player to be named later last July. That's a lot of movement. What day is it? Where am I playing? That'll go to short. Diaz up, and we'll get it. Brady's was supposed to make the start today in the original lineup. Buck Showalter had out. We told you Chris Davis wasn't in it. Then Buck decided he wanted Chris to play because Davis isn't going to go to Lakeland to play Detroit tomorrow. So Brady's did not get the start. Here he is, coming on with his first at bat in the leadoff spot.
Well, he can play the outfield. He can play third. If he could turn the double play and a switch hitter that can hit, he would probably be your starting second baseman.
Yep. And it is in there for a strike. Brady's with a magnificent .424 average, a home run, 10 RBIs so far this spring. 14 for 33, including 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run. Hello, Jeff Francis.
Well, when you release it, you become a defender. Yeah, sometimes, especially if you're tall as he is, a little change up, not hit that hard. No way he could reach all the way across his body to catch it if it was. Quick second out on an off-speed pitch.
So 2 down here in the 8th. And here's Daryl Alvarez. This will be his first at bat in the ball game, as Mike Showalter gets players in here in the 8th inning. Alvarez to second base, off the glove. Kawasaki needed to make that pick and couldn't do it, and Alvarez is on. It'll be an error.
So the 2-hopper to third that Valencia doesn't get out of the glove is a base hit, and then the short hop, tough play, because I mean, this, you can see he reaches out, and then right there, that's not a routine play, but it is scored an error. Either way, the Orioles get a base runner that they need, down by 3.
Each team with 6 hits. Jason Nix will be the pinch hitter. Nix at .241, a home run, 2 RBIs, 1 double. Runner on at first base. Each team now has been charged with an error in the ball game. The Jays got an unearned run off the Orioles error. That was back in the first inning. One-0 to Nix. Tied him up, off-speed pitch. Little jelly leg on that one, and the count goes to 1-1.
Is that like a siesta key, little jelly leg?
Little jelly leg. Stay away from those.
Man of war?
Jelly legs. Sting. 1-1, 2 down. Another off-speed delivery. That's going to miss outside.
Of course, I live on the other coast, and anytime the wind comes off the ocean, blowing from the east, I want to stay out of the water. Jellyfish everywhere. Man of wars. They're huge.
They are. Well, you had sharks over there, you said, right?
Schools of sharks.
Schools of sharks. Always makes swimming interesting.
East
Coast,
Coast, not Sarasota.
No, no.
Not Sarasota.
No,
no,
sir.
no,
No sharks here. None. 3-1.
That we know of.
Caught a sand shark once. I thought I had a log. Oh, my gosh. Wasn't that big. 3-1 count, 2 down. And a ground ball down to third. That'll be backhanded. Going's up, trying to make it. Oh, yeah. What a great play. Boy, we've seen some really nice defense on both sides in this ball game. An error, a runner left, 5-2 Jays. So we go to the 9th inning. Blue Jays able to get an early lead in the ball game and hang on to it as they are up 5-2, out hitting the Orioles 7-5 now in the ball game. And here's one of the Rule 5 pitchers we've been talking about.
Yeah, out of the Red Sox organization. And, of course, as the legend goes, in instructional league game, as the Orioles prepared last year in, late September, early October for the postseason, he pitched against 18 Oriole batters. Chen, Chris Davis, Christian Walker struck out 14 of them. 18 batters faced 14, and then they didn't protect them. Rule 5 means you have to stay with the big club all year long, or you're offered back to the Red Sox, and they probably take them. It costs you $50,000 to do it. If they take them back, you get $25,000 back. So we'll see. Struck out the side in his last appearance. I've been hearing about his arm. You know, he had some hamstring problems, the left hamstring, so we get to see him.
So Garcia gets a chance. Everett Cabrera in the ball game today has come out and has taken time to join us here. Everett, thank you very much for coming on board. Great to see you.
Thank you, guys.
Listen, as we go into the final couple of weeks here of spring training, what's your read on what you're going to be doing with this Orioles team? Where do you fit?
I don't know. I'm here for play baseball, and I'm here for help my team to win games.
How comfortable, we saw you in San Diego as a shortstop. Are you comfortable playing second? Had you done a lot of it?
I mean, that's my natural position, but I've been playing last 5 years shortstop, so I've been playing short, center a little bit. But here, he put me in center field, second base, short, left field yesterday, but I feel comfortable.
Have you had to do extra work on the backfields or when you get a chance to practice in the outfield?
Yeah, almost every day, like a little bit every day.
Who's working with you on that?
Dickerson.
Bobby Dickerson?
Yeah.
How's he going? You feel comfortable?
He's great. He's unbelievable. He tell me I gotta go him, but I gotta, keep practicing every single day and then make some adjustment.
When you come to a team like the Orioles, when you look around and you see Machado with Gold Gloves and the same with Hardy at shortstop and then in the outfield Jones, does it make you work a little harder?
For sure, you got a team. It's like at least you have 9 guys and you have like 3 or 4 guys who got gloves. You want to be there.
Super utility players have a place in this game in this day and age, Everett, and it kind of looks like that's what the Orioles are trying to turn you into. You get that feeling?
Yeah, I got that feeling, and like I said before, I'm trying to be in the lineup every single day. I be preparing for everything, pitch runner, everything, just trying to do something to win games. That's all matter.
Well, so far you are. Everett, thanks very much. We really appreciate it, and good luck in the rest of spring training.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Everett Cabrera joining us, and he has been all over the place, infield, outfield. And there is Rome, the super utility player we've talked about a lot. Justin Smoke leading it off. That will be a walk. Yastrzemski has come on to play in left field. Borbone will play in center for Jones. Alvarez, whom we saw at the plate, is in right. Paredes has come on to play at third base. Flaherty's going to play at short. Nix, who hit, will play second. And Parmalee is at first base.
There you go.
And Steve Clevenger doing the catching.
So we do know who's on first. Because you get all those named down.
Yes. Ground ball towards the hole. They were playing him the other way, and that's going to be a base hit. Gendel went the other way as the Orioles. Flaherty had moved a bit towards second base, and Smoke goes to second, and a base hit for Gendel.
Yeah, you're kind of trying to play percentage baseball. If you're a shortstop, sometimes a second baseman, you want to be a little closer in case you get a double play ball. But 93, 96, he doesn't pull it. Nobody playing there, first and second.
Rankin came on as a pinch runner. There he is. He's at second base for Smoke. And now runners on at first and second. Tolle up 0 for 3 in the ball game, the Toronto catcher.
Hey, you look at Jason Garcia and you see that he's got a very simple windup. Power arm. But never, as we've seen with some of the Toronto guys, never pitch higher than A ball.
Tolle goes off the fist on that one. In center field. Borbone handles, runner tags and stays. And there is the first out of the inning.
Yeah, you look at the Oriole outfield, what he had. I get a little nervous when I hear Yaz and left, but his grandson, 18 triples last year. And then you got Alvarez. They take infield just about every day here at home, something they don't always do in the season. And Buck Showalter saying, wait till you see Alvarez throw. Best throwing arm in the organization from the outfield.
That's a big compliment.
Or right up there with Adam Jones. And
yeah. One down, 2 on, ninth inning, 5-2. Jays are on top. Brian Goings has been involved in this game. 0 for 3, couple of chances, robbed by the D, and then he's robbed the Orioles in a couple of good defensive plays. And he will take the pitch up high for a ball. Positives today, certainly for the Orioles. Wei Chen's performance, a run on 3 hits over 6 innings. As far as the earned run was concerned, he gave up 2, but only one of them was earned in the ball game. He pitched well. 1-0 count. Off-speed breaking ball, and that one is in there. 1-1.
Yeah, really the only that only earned run, 2-0 fastball to Steve Tolleson. He hit a home run to left center field.
Orioles offensively been held down. Home run by Delmon Young, RBI by Joseph on a double back in the 3rd inning. The 2 runs for the Orioles. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Goings with the infield, playing him to pull, and the outfield. He's got that whole left side open in the infield and the outfield. And a look back by Gomez, back to the bag at second base, Rankin.
Yeah, as far as Jason Garcia, until late last year, he had been a starter, and then, like a lot of guys, they put him in the bullpen, all of a sudden almost hit 100. So the ability to only really pitch 1 inning, even though in that instructional league game, pitched 6 and struck out 14.
Only his 4th outing this spring, as Jim was talking about. He's gone a couple of innings against Tampa Bay, and then 1 against the Mets and 1 against the Cardinals. With the no runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Goings waiting on it, and another one fouled, almost exactly the same place. Holds the count at 1-2. 1-2, 1 down. Orioles take on the Tigers in spring training baseball tomorrow. Garcia with a look back, the 1-2 delivery. And another one fouled towards the same direction. Will it stay playable? Yes. Off the glove of Yastrzemski and into the seats.
Well, wind, glare, stands, warning track, spring training, and he just misses it. Like he took his eyes off it to see how close he was to the wall and went off the heel of his glove.
So goings at bat continues, 1-2. So Wayne Kirby there directs the outfielders positioning wise, taking a look out there to left. One-two delivery, and that one just slipped. And up in the air, 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, late on the fastball, and that was supposed to be a slider, and he got under it, so it just kind of spun out of his hand. Got to be very careful when a guy's late on your heater to speed up the bat with a slider. It's all right to throw it, but you want to throw it out of the zone.
Pitch on the way outside.
There's another one.
A Tiger game tomorrow. Chris Tillman's going to be making the start. Probably will be the opening day starter for the Orioles, and he'll go against the opening day starter for the Tigers, David Price. Tillman and Price in Lakeland tomorrow. Price has already been named as the Detroit opening day pitcher. About half the teams around the majors have named their opening day starters so far. 3-2 delivery on the way. Took the mask right off Clevenger. Ouch.
Yeah, straight back. Right off the mask, and then
Fans always sympathetic, hollering out, how many fingers?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that one.
Well, it can't feel good.
That was a shot. So the count remains 3-2. Rankin off second base. Gendel first. One down. Goings trying to get another run in here. Garcia's delivery. Runners go, and it's ball 4. So he has walked 2 in the inning, and they're loaded with 1 out. Diaz will get his first at bat. He's in the leadoff spot now, and gets the chance with the bases loaded. So a chance for the Jays to add to their 5-2 lead here in the 9th inning. One down, delivery to him. That'll be a fastball. It's going to miss inside. So Diaz will get the early advantage. No place to put him on the base pass.
Yeah, they really swing around. Certainly the scouting report says single hitter, playing him into right center field, hit the opposite field.
Breaking ball, that's in there for a strike.
It's a nice little slider.
Diaz, 29 years old. He's a veteran. He's been around a long time, since 2006 in pro ball, but he's played only 28 games at the major league level, and now 29. And again, the big cut, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, back-to-back sliders. Got behind him. And then there's the second in a row, and it was a good one.
Orioles infield double play depth. On outfield, you see that big hole in left center. One ball, 2-strike count, 1 down. Runners their leads and a ground ball. It's going to be a chopper that'll go to the plate. Got him.
Really nice play.
Garcia gets the out of the plate.
Yeah, fans, of course, with no replay in spring training, might be one of those that John Gibbons might take another look at, but this is a nice play right here. You can see the runner on our left, snap throw, and bang, bang at home plate. Clevenger, it's a tag play, so he doesn't have to, I mean, it's force play, so really hard to tell from that angle with all the dust and the chalk and all that stuff.
Gets the out. 2 down. Bases remain loaded. Well, the Jays still with an opportunity here to do some damage. Kawasaki at the plate. And will take the pitch inside for a ball. Veteran had a double in the 6th inning and scored. Flied out his second time up. Garcia trying to work his way out of an inning in which he'd given up a couple of walks and a base hit. One-0 delivery to him, and Kawasaki watches one go by inside. 2-0.
Yeah, Barbone playing really shallow in center field. So you maybe move back a step or two, 2-0, only because bases loaded, has to throw a strike. But he doesn't.
2-0, 2 down. And that one's going to miss. So no place to put him. And Kawasaki's ahead on the count 3-0. And Garcia struggling with the strike zone a little bit here.
Well, yeah, and also, you know, what they really kind of guide because of the hamstring is how many pitches you've thrown, not how many runs you've given up. And that pitch count certainly getting towards the limit.
3-0 delivery, and that is in there for a strike. Rule 5 decisions. Keep them on the roster or send them back. Garcia and Vermette. 3-1 pitch on the way. Down to first, foul. Came around too far on that one. And the count goes to 3-2. Full count, bases loaded. Full count delivery. Runners going and struck him out. The Garcia has a long but successful inning. No runs on a hit. The bases are left loaded. Orioles bottom of the 9th coming up. Of the 9th inning, as the Jays trying to take another one from the Orioles. They've won 3 of the first 4 these teams have played, and Aaron Luke will try and finish it off.
Yeah, 135 games over the last 2 seasons for the Blue Jays. 71 last year, 4-4 record. So again, with Brett Cecil being the closer, he will probably pitch later in the ball game. Very effective left-hander. Deceptive windup. Throws way across his body. By that means he's almost stepping right towards the Oriole dugout here. Starts over on the first base side and then kind of steps right at you if you're a left-handed hitter. Change up, breaking ball, running fastball.
One of the reasons left-handers hit only $159 against him last year. Not a lot better for right-handers at .235. Steve Clevenger will get his first at bat. Clevenger stands in with a shift put on against him in the infield. And that pitch will be taken for a strike. A couple of catchers due to hit here in this inning. Lavarnway's come out in the on-deck circle. He's not had an at-bat. Who will the backup catcher be with Matt Wieters on the DL for the start of the season? Joseph certainly looks like he will be the starter.
Well, the one thing with Caleb, he showed he can throw runners out 40% on the year, one of the better numbers.
That'll go to second base, Kawasaki. So the players for the backup catcher position, with Wieters out, move Caleb Joseph up. Now you've got Arancibia, Clevenger, and Lavarnway. Who's most likely to make it? Well, if you asked right now, the name is Lavarnway.
Well, he seems like he's got a pretty good handle on what he needs to do defensively. Not only, and I'm not talking about throwing people out. The one guy he threw out was in our first game, perfect throw, but looks like he calls a pretty good game.
He'll go after the first pitch and fouled it off. Live Orioles baseball is back here for 2015. MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected. Live broadcast, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
That it is. A potpourri of knowledge.
Potpourri.
Yes. You knew that, though.
A potpourri. Pitch is taken for a strike, 0-2, one way.
And then the determination you have to make, how good they are defensively, how good do they throw. If they're going to play maybe once or twice a week, who has the better stroke, who can adapt to that.
Way back at short Diaz. I mean, he had a run in from left field, but he missed the play.
Well, Lavarnway, he's not really that slow, but he's not fast either, so he's somewhere in between. And that's why he can play a little deeper. And here's the heave from short left center field. Plenty of time.
2 down. So the Jays looking to pick up their spring victory number 13. Ryan Flaherty will be at the plate.
10 out of 12 for the Jays.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is, you know, a lot of times you will not bring your best players on the road. They will be 9-4 on the road.
Bunting for a base hit, obviously. Didn't get it. And that's a ball game.
Yeah, Judge, that's one of those situations, just trying to get on, 3 runs down, but Luke pounced on it to end the game.
So that will do it. Our spring training ball game. The Jays come away with a 5-2 win in